Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests joining us from the United States of America, a very warm welcome here to King Abdulaziz Racecourse in Riyadh for the launch of the Saudi Cup 2022. Two fantastic days of racing taking place here on the Friday the 25th and Saturday the 26th of February next year. And unveiling the exciting developments behind the now $35 million event and the newly promoted Group 1 feature, I'm delighted to be joined by His Royal Highness Prince Bandar bin Khalid AlFaisal, Chairman of the Jockey Club of Saudi Arabia, and Tom Ryan, Director of Strategy and International Racing. We will be inviting questions to both Prince Bandar and to Tom throughout the course of this press conference. So do please, if you want to take part in those, use the question and answer function when it comes to that. But first off, to begin, let us remind ourselves of some of the spectacular scenes we've seen here at the past two Saudi Cup meetings. Two very memorable years so far here for the Saudi Cup. The third year promises to be bigger and better than ever before, and to tell us more about that, I'll pass you across to His Royal Highness Prince Bandar bin Khalid AlFaisal, Chairman of the Jockey Club of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Martin, for the introduction, and I would like to welcome everybody for the official launch of the Saudi Cup 2022. This has certainly been a challenging 18 months we've all went through in sports in general and horse racing. I think we're all having a sigh of relief the past couple of months as things improve and fans are coming back to horse racing, which promises to make this third Saudi Cup more exciting. The environment we're in here in Saudi Arabia has changed. Maybe some of you have heard that Saudi Arabia has been promoted to a Part 2 country. We'll continue the work here with the horse racing environment and horse welfare, and our goal is to be a Part 1 country in the not too distant future. I would like to extend a very warm thank you for all of the people in the IFHA for their wonderful support and help guiding us through this process. We're committed to a world-class horse racing environment here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We're working with our colleagues in the UAE and Bahrain and Qatar to really make this part of the world one of the major hubs of horse racing and a very exciting place to be when it comes to horse racing. Also, the Saudi Cup this year has been is promoted to a Group 1 race, which is very satisfying for us here. And the undercards are all Group 3 races, so this is different from the last two Saudi Cups. We're very, very happy about that. Looking forward to having other local races here also become rated. In any case, I don't want to talk a lot and take time from questions and answers. I feel I just want to extend a thank you to all of the horse community and the owners and trainers across the world for supporting the Saudi Cup in the last two iterations of the Saudi Cup. And we promise that for this upcoming Saudi Cup and future Cups, it'll become more and more interesting, and we will do our best with the team here in the Jockey Club of Saudi Arabia to make sure that everybody has a wonderful time. And we do put forward a wonderful international meet and gathering, and I do look forward to hopefully welcoming most of the people joining us today here in Saudi Arabia in February for the Saudi Cup. Thank you.
Many thanks, Prince Bandar. And if you do have a question for His Highness, please do use the question and answer section, and we'll get those to him very shortly. But next up, we can introduce Tom Ryan, the Director of Strategy and International Racing here in Saudi Arabia. So over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Martin. As I sit in my position, I suppose I reflect very quickly over the first 2 years of the Saudi Cup, when Prince Bandar explained to me the vision for the race back in April 2019. I suppose I immediately saw it as a very good opportunity to put Saudi Arabia right in the middle of the horse racing picture at a global level. It's been an eventful couple of years. We've worked hard, we've overcome some challenges, but had an awful lot of success. As Prince Bandar mentioned, the Part 2 promotion has been very significant for us here over recent months. I think it shows a wider development of the industry here. Racing in Saudi Arabia is not just about 2 days of racing in February, and I think that promotion shows a wider structural progression through the nation. To have the Saudi Cup at Group 1 level so quickly is very, very pleasing. It's been a tremendous race so far, and we look forward to building on it further. The one key principle we began with, and one we will continue with a lot of enthusiasm, is putting the horse first. The horses are the entities and the animals that provide the show, and we have been determined since at the very start to put their welfare and put the first-class experience for them in place. Everything from the flights to the airport here, the quarantine, the stabling, the training facilities, the veterinary care has been top class, and we've been very lucky to have a very strong team there. For me, especially the first year, that flight from Los Angeles to Florida to Riyadh was one of the first iconic moments of the race when it landed here in Riyadh, and those 12 horses, I think, the first year got down from the plane. So, you know, we look forward to hopefully welcoming a strong group again this year. The Saudi Cup, as we know, from an American perspective, has performed quite well. 4 of the first 5 home the first year, and 3 out of the first 5, the second year. So we're well placed, I think, to welcome the next generation of American horses in February. There are a lot of positives around the weekend. The supporting card for me, has a lot of potential going forward. Prince Bandar mentioned most of them are at Group 3 level. Several of them rated at the higher bracket of that Group 3, so we're on the verge of a Group 2 classification. You look at the type of results that have come out of it. The first year in cross-counter, we welcomed a Melbourne Cup winner. Twilight Payment ran in the same race and was a subsequent Melbourne Cup winner. We look at Space Blues this week in the Breeders' Cup Mile. We'll be looking to hopefully to cheer him on. Started here in February, his season, won a Group 1 in France, obviously, as we all know, recently, and now we look forward to Del Mar next weekend. As we can see from the trends as well, horses returning home after their visit here, they seem to perform very, very strongly. So, you could almost argue that coming to Riyadh is a good footprint or a good foundation for your season ahead as you campaign your horse. We're hopeful that that will continue to give the trainers and owners of the very best horses around the world the confidence to send their horses here, run in a fabulous event for some good prize money, an event that's very well staged, and have the confidence that that will all be okay, and they'll have a horse for the rest of their career and the rest of the season as when they go home.
Thank you, Tom. And once again, any questions for Prince Bandar or for Tom, please do use the question and answer section on the website. And first off to you, Prince Bandar, you've been looking to grow racing in Saudi Arabia. How important has the Saudi Cup meeting been in promoting the sport and attracting new and inspired race fans?
Well, right from the outset, we thought about the Saudi Cup not only on the international level, but we also had the goal of it stimulating horse racing in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and to be an addition to the existing race seasons or the big races in Dubai, Bahrain, and Qatar. So I think it has definitely achieved more than our wildest expectations within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I don't think I would be exaggerating if I would say that the last Saudi Cup 2021 I think was, if not the number one, the number two major sport event that happened here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Tremendous support. I think every home in the kingdom was watching the whole afternoon there. And that's just a wonderful thing for the sport of horse racing. It definitely provides us with a lot of the pleasures of seeing something succeed to that level within the kingdom, and it has succeeded in attracting many, many young people into the sport of horse racing, and I think that's where it's important. Also, on an international level, we're really and it gives us great pleasure to see all the support we got from the US and from Europe and from Japan for the Saudi Cup. We're very appreciative for that. I think it's really well suited for horses, whether you're on the turf or the dirt. I think the dirt track here is, in my opinion, and I'm biased, but I think it's second to none. It's a track that horses excel on, even if they come from a turf background. We saw Mishrif last year and what he did. So yeah, I think the race has achieved everything we had hoped for within this part of the world, and I think it's been received very well internationally.
Well, I think we'll come back with a question to Tom on the surface in a second, but just following up, Prince Bandar, from your initial opening comments, we've got a question from one of our viewers in America asking, have you a timeline on when Saudi Arabia might become a Tier 1 country? When are you going to move up from the newly promoted status?
Well, Tom, please feel free to correct me, but I don't think there is a timeline on this. It's a combination of the level of races and horses you have, and the type of races you have, infrastructure, horse welfare. It's kind of a combination of all of that. We work very closely with the Asian Patent Committee and the IFHA. We've found tremendous support, but I think it's fair that they want to see commitment, they want to see longevity, they want to see us over the long run, and when they feel we're at a position where we deserve to be part of that elite set of countries, and I don't expect it to be a long period of time. I think within the next 3 to 4 years, we should be in a position where they would feel comfortable enough, if we continue on the same line we are now, to be within that elite group of countries.
As part of our Part 2 promotion document, Martin, it was quite comprehensive in terms of the proposition we put forward, and we tried to set out a roadmap by which we recognised that the touch points where a Part 1 membership would be within our grasp. So we took a lot of time this time last year, as Prince Bandar said, worked very proactively with the Asian Patent Committee, because as we know, it rests there first, regionally, and then they make the recommendation to the world body. So this time last year, with the help of the club, and it was a very wide exercise with a lot of people, a lot of valuable input, we set the roadmap out. We put a very comprehensive document where we demonstrated the path and the method by which we might get there over a period of years. And I would agree with Prince Bandar's for the assessment. 3-4 years, I think we're going to be knocking on the door. Okay,
and again, Prince Bandar, following up for your opening statements, Robert Kafika has got in touch from the Blood Horse, and he said, Your Highness, congratulations on Part 2. Could you elaborate on plans to coordinate schedules with Bahrain and the UAE?
Well, that's an ongoing discussion we have with them now. I think the good news is they are very eager to work with us on this. The goal is to have a racing jurisdiction between the 3-4 countries, if you include Qatar and maybe Oman in the future, because they're very active in the purebred Arabian horses, in which issues of quarantine, movement of horses, racing regulations and so on become transparent, and it becomes very easy for people to move where trainers and owners can target races in different countries. I think it's a good thing for this part of the world. It makes it more attractive for international trainers or owners who like to move their horses across the world. I think it's very attractive for people in colder environment in the Northern Hemisphere. I think that this part of the world provides a very interesting venue for them to continue racing between November and March. Yeah, I think I don't think I would be mistaken if I would say within the next 6 months we would have something very solid between the 3 countries or the 4 countries in which people coming into this part of the world will view the region as just one jurisdiction.
Okay, that looks a very interesting development, and we look forward to seeing how that develops. A question for Tom that's come in from Juan Carlos in Venezuela. He asks, is it possible to create, and this is maybe in mind, Tom, of the new automatic entry races that we've got this year in Bahrain and Japan, would it be possible to maybe create a win-and-you're-in series of worldwide qualifiers, including one in Latin America?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've expanded that this year, as you said, Martin, in year 3, extra races in Japan. We have an automatic offer for an entry to the NEOM Cup from the Bahrain Trophy here locally, and various things. The one area in South Africa or South America that we're really concentrating on is the travel protocols. So the ability to move the horses in a reasonable way. We have a very, very concentrated effort on that now. Various partnerships here with the Ministry of Agriculture, and we're working internationally to improve all those relationships and those protocols. So the very minute we can get the horses to move in an acceptable way, I feel we'll be reaching out to those countries and making it easier for them to join us.
Okay, Carlos, many thanks. So thanks to our question there from Carlos. We've got another one here from, we'll go to you again, Tom, for this one. Someone asking Tom, how long and how big a challenge is it for the long home straight in the US horses who are generally used to a shorter home straight? So how much of a challenge are the American horses used to a more galloping track coming here to the tighter circuit?
Well, I suppose, as we know, the track here is largely based on the Belmont footprint, you know, so that 1 turn mile or 10 furlongs, should I say, 2,000 metres. So we haven't seen that to be a major challenge so far for the American horses. The riders can adapt and maybe judge the pace a little bit differently. So not a major negative, I think, for the American horses so far.
Okay, and just following up again from the Latin element, one to you, Prince Bandar. Carlos Morales from Argentes 305, he says, Your Royal Highness, thanks for your time and thanks for sharing it with us in South America. He said, Latin America is very enthusiastic and passionate about horse racing. What's your message and invitation for the Latino trainers, jockeys and owners for Saudi Cup 2022?
Well, thank you for the question. I think nothing would be more pleasing to all of us here to be able to welcome all these racing enthusiasts from South America, from Latin America. First of all, I'd like to extend an invitation for them to come and attend the Saudi Cup this year. We have had groups who have come out of there. Last year we had a very interesting a group of people come despite COVID restrictions and participate with us here. But I think what Tom alluded to in terms of ironing out the protocols between the countries, I don't feel it is a major obstacle. I think it's a matter of getting down, having these agreements, agreeing with them, and then we run into the issue of the logistics of moving horses from that part of the world to here, if they're interested in coming specifically for the Saudi Cup. But I think if we can get over that, it'll be an opening for all enthusiasts in that part of the world to come and really experience the Saudi Cup and the Dubai Cup. I think it would work for all of these 2 races and provide a very interesting perspective. And I think Tom would back me on this one. 2 years ago, we said that is a priority for us. How can we get people from South America to be able to, because we've always bought horses from that part of the world, so we know them very well. We know the market there. There are horses that originated in that part of the world who run here today in Saudi Arabia, and it would be wonderful to have them come and participate with us. I don't think this is something that would take over 2 years. I hope within the next 2 years we'd be able to iron out a situation that will allow them, and hopefully we'll have a logistical solution for them to be able to make it to this part of the world.
Okay, Carlos, thanks for your question. I hope that answers that for you. Another one to you, Prince Bandar, again from Robert from the Blood Horse. He said, do you have any plans to expand the facilities, the grandstand, such like here at King Abdulaziz?
It's ongoing, and every year they'll notice a difference in infrastructure here. Absolutely, and hopefully the more people we can attract, the more we can invest in the facility here. I think our goal is to have people really enjoy their experience when they come to this part of the world, to be able to enjoy Riyadh, to enjoy Saudi culture, and to have a wonderful time at the racetrack. And I think, I hope we're able to give them that experience when they come.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another one for you, Tom. Logistically, how much of a challenge was this year's event, and how much easier do you expect 2022 to be?
Again, I suppose we were aware of, in a COVID-relevant situation, the primary challenge was the people. The horses was, the easy part of it. So we had issues with grooms, flying grooms, flight staff having been quarantined and changed over, and that type of thing. But from a horse perspective, it'll be the same top-class performance that we had for the last 2 years. And then hopefully, as the world gets, each week, hopefully gets better with COVID, that part will become easier too.
I think it's something you touched on earlier on, Prince Bandar, about the racing fans. You weren't able to sell tickets for the event last year, but you must be really looking forward to seeing the racing fans back here next February.
Well, last year was, an experience for everybody involved in all sports, not only horse racing, but I feel confident enough that since we pulled it off last year, I don't think we'll have any challenges this year. We will have tickets available for sale. It'll be announced on the website. The time and date for that. Again, we're all subject to all the international restrictions with travel and the COVID situation. I think everybody would be interested in the situation here in Saudi Arabia, where we're quite well off compared to any other parts of the world. We have less than 50 infections per day, which is, we're really happy we got it down to that. My hope is the Western world can get their act together and hopefully, help us, help them, open up sports everywhere. But I think we've come a long way. The health institutions have protocols and procedures in place which we couldn't fall back on last year, and I don't think there'll be a problem for spectators to come and join us in the Saudi Cup. We've got the Formula One F1 race coming up next month, Formula E's after that, and it's all open to spectators from all over the world, so I don't think the Saudi Cup will be a problem.
Yeah, we do hope that many of you can come and join us here, because as you can see, it's exciting times for horse racing here in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Cup, now a Group 1 event. We have 5 of the thoroughbred races on the supporting card now, carrying that Group 3 status. Over $35 million in prize money on offer, and just this week the Abaya Arabian Classic was awarded Group 2 status as well. So many thanks to Prince Bandar and to Tom. Thanks to you for taking the time to join us here in Riyadh this evening. And as Prince Bandar said, we look forward to welcoming as many of you as possible to the Saudi Cup in 2022.